in India. I was traveling in India for, I thought maybe a month or two, but I stayed there for 1 year to study yoga, which I did in depth. And I was in McLeodganj, close to Dharamsala in the north, where the Tibetan people were living. And I was sitting there in a monastery writing my opus, the movie that I made, which by chance is called By Way of Passion. How can it not be by way of passion? Okay. Anyway, somebody told me we have a Vipassana. I never heard of Vipassanas. And he said, yeah, it's just sitting for 10 days. You wake up at 4:30 in the morning. You go, you don't talk for 10 days. You just sit 10 days long. They give you food and, it's for free, or you can give them like a donation. And I said, well, I just came out of a very, not messy divorce, but a very painful divorce. And I wanted to heal myself. It's one of the reasons that I went to India, to heal myself and not be in the West and among friends who kept on saying, yeah, she's a this, she's a that. And I didn't want to go into that narrative so I could believe all of what they said, how bad she was, because I chose to live with her at that moment. So it was my choice, but I did want to heal myself. And one of the most important things that I wanted to heal myself from was that I did not want to hate women, because usually you are going, and I mean, that was my experience, that all women were bad. Well, maybe women think all men are bad. And, I just wanted to heal myself. So I went to this Vipassana, and I remember there were like 20 or 30 people sitting. It was in the woods, and it rained, and we woke up at 4:30 in the morning, 10 days long. And I remember in front of me, there was this guy, an Indian guy, sitting really straight. And I was like, oh, look at his body. And he's a true yogi. And he's so, man, I wish I could sit that straight, right? Anyway, this is where we look at others and diminish ourselves. Anyway, one day I was meditating, and every day around 10:30, a huge bell would cling. I mean, you couldn't miss that bell. It was a bang, bang, bang. And that meant you went to eat some breakfast for half an hour, and then you went back to sit. So every day, and we went to eat. And then I think it was day 5 or day 6 that I was sitting in heavy meditation, and all of a sudden I felt that I came back to my body, and I was like, oh, sorry. That's the next. Sorry. All of a sudden, I felt that I came back to my body, and I was like, something changed, and I had no clue where I was. I mean, where I had been in my mind, but I knew that I was in the Vipassana. And I didn't hear anybody. Usually you hear people coughing or moving. And I was like, okay, so I opened my eyes, and there was nobody in the room. And I was like, what? And I was really high from this meditation. So I went to the breakfast room, and everybody was having breakfast. And then I realized, did I miss that bell? I missed that heavy bell. I must have been so gone. And by the way, when I walked into the breakfast room, people were looking at me like this. And I was thinking, what is going on here? Anyway, I missed the whole thing. Another 4 days went by. And funny enough, the Indian guy who was sitting in front of me, where I thought, wow, this guy is so straight, and wow, what a beautiful, how he sits and all that stuff, came to me, and he bobbed his head with a smile, beautiful eyes, beautiful face. He came to me and he said, "Sir, can I tell you, you were a great inspiration for me." I was like laughing, because I looked at him and I said, well, so were you to me. So what I'm trying to tell here is that I went so far inside of my mind and surrendered and got completely lost, and didn't hear anything around me.